welcome to your science class. So last class we have completed our 12th chapter, that is electricity and circuit. We have completed the textual activities also. Now today is a new start. We are going to start our 13th chapter, that is magnetism. Magnetism. So most of you are familiar with magnets. We use different forms of magnet in our daily life. So can you give me an example from our daily life where we use the magnets? Yes, magnets are used in refrigerators, isn't it? They are used in refrigerator to keep the doors of the refrigerator closed. And we also use magnets in closing the purse, isn't it? Wallets, etc. So these are just two examples where we use the magnets in our daily life. There are many other use of magnets, isn't it? So in today's class, we are going to learn about magnets, the property of magnet and also the uses of magnets. Now, what are these magnets? How will you define these magnets? Yes, magnets are the materials which have the capacity to attract the magnetic substances, isn't it? So, what are magnetic substances? Magnetic substances. What are these magnetic substances? Yes, you know the example for magnetic substances, isn't it? Iron, cobalt, nickel, etc. Iron, cobalt, nickel, etc. are example for this magnetic substances. So, magnet are the materials that are able to attract the magnetic substances, isn't it? Now, what is this magnetic force? Magnetic force. Have you heard of the word magnetic force? Magnetic force. So just now we learned this magnet has the power to attract the magnetic substances, isn't it? So force which is exerted by the magnet to attract this magnetic substance is what we call the magnetic force. So now we learned three terms. First term is about magnet. What are magnets? Yes, magnets are the materials that have the power to attract magnetic substances, isn't it? Now, what are examples for magnetic substances? Yes, iron, nickel, cobalt, etc. are examples for magnetic substances. Now, what is this magnetic force? Yes, the force exerted by the magnet in order to attract the magnetic substance is what we call magnetic force, isn't it? So these are the things we learn now. Now, I know all of you love to hear the stories. So there is two stories in your textbook, page number 125, which lead to the discovery of magnets. So these magnets, they are known from ancient time onwards. So these two stories are said to be the reasons or the first discovery which lead to the first discovery of the magnets. So teacher will use the digiboard to narrate the story. So kindly listen carefully. So teacher is going to display two stories which lead to the discovery of magnet.
Discovery of magnet. The early Aryan and Greek philosophers were aware of the attractive property of natural magnets. They attributed the discovery of magnets to a shepherd named as Magnus. One day, while moving on the mountainside along with his herd, he was surprised to find that his stick stuck to the mountain rocks. It was difficult for him to free his stick from the rock. This strange incident puzzled the boy. At last, a wise man explained the reason that the mountain rock was a natural magnet and that it attracted the iron of the shepherd's stick. This is how natural magnets were discovered. Such rocks which have magnetic property are given the name magnetite. This rock, which attracted iron, was called magnetite after Magnesia, the place where it was first discovered. The substances having the property of attracting iron objects are known as magnets. This is how the story goes. The Chinese were the first to find that magnets can be used for finding the direction. This direction finding property was used by the Chinese sailors. Chinese sailors used magnets to find direction for their ships, especially when the sun or the pole star was not visible during cloudy weather. They first named the magnet as leading stone, Chinese name which is now known as lodestone.
So dear children, I hope you liked the story of Magnite and Iodistone. So this is said to be the first time the discovery of magnets. Now, there are two types of magnets seen around us. That is natural magnite and artificial magnets. So comparing with the artificial magnets, the natural magnet is having very less power compared with the artificial magnets. And artificial magnets, it's available in shops and all. These artificial magnets are seen in many sizes. So in page number 123, you can see the shapes and size of magnets widely used. So the first one is a U-shaped magnet. Second is a bar magnet. Third is a ball-ended magnet. And fourth is a cylindrical magnet. So teacher have also brought few artificial magnets to your class. So here is a U-shaped magnet. This is an artificial magnet which has a magnetic property. Now there is an activity given in your page number 124. This activity is to categorize the magnetic substances and non-magnetic substances. So dear children, what are these magnetic substances? Yes, the substances which attract to the magnet is what we call the magnetic substances. We learned it just now, isn't it? Substances that attract to a magnet is what we call magnetic substances, isn't it? Just now we learned examples for magnetic substances, isn't it? What are the examples for magnetic substances? Yes, iron, steel, nickel, cobalt, etc. are example for magnetic substances, isn't it? Now, what is non-magnetic substances? Yes, non-magnetic substances are the substances which does not have any kind of magnetic attraction, isn't it? For example, if we can say paper, wood, plastic, aluminium, etc. are example for non-magnetic substances. That means those substances that cannot be attracted by this kind of magnet. So in activity 1, we are going to see which are magnetic substances and which are non-magnetic substances. So teacher will demonstrate the activity using the DigiBoard. Kindly go through it carefully and learn which are the magnetic and non-magnetic substances.
Above activity, we find that all the objects are not attracted by the magnet. The substances that are attracted by the magnet are called magnetic substances. For example, iron, steel, nickel and cobalt. All these substances are attracted by the magnet. The substances that are not attracted by the magnet are called non-magnetic substances. For example, wood, stone, leather, plastic, aluminium and copper. All these substances are not attracted by the magnet.
So dear children, I hope now you came to know about what are magnetic substances and what are non-magnetic substances. Now we will learn about more properties of magnet. So before learning about the properties of magnets, let's examine about the magnets. So teacher have brought few magnets to your class. So let's examine that first. So dear children, in page number 123, there are different magnets given in different shapes. These are artificial magnets. So here you can see at the end of each magnet, if it is U-shaped magnet, bar magnet, cylindrical or ball-ended magnet, each magnet, by the end it is written north and south. Here also north and south is there. Everywhere the end of the magnets is written north and south. That means this region is North Pole and this region is the South Pole. North Pole means north end and South Pole means south end. So here also you can see north and south region. So every magnet has a north and south region. So here, as teacher told, teacher have also brought a magnet to your class. So here also it is a U-shaped magnet. Here also north and south region is marked. That means every magnet is having a north and south pole. So dear children, now we have learned about the magnetic substances, and I am sure few of you may be knowing the magnetic property, isn't it? So teacher will just demonstrate the magnetic property now. That is, here teacher is having two magnets, artificial magnets, which look differently. And here are few magnetic substances. So this is a coin, here is a nail, and here is a bolt. So we will see the magnetic property of the magnet. This is a U-shaped magnet and this is an artificial curve magnet. So here we will see when teacher takes this magnet to the nail, see, it attracts, isn't it? Now, when I take this to the bolt, it also attracts, isn't it? Now, you can see the attraction, I hope. Okay, now when teacher takes this magnet to the coin, see, it also attracts, isn't it? So, that is the power of magnet. That is, it can attract the magnetic substances. So, now let's see the attractive power of two magnets. So, here teacher have placed the U-shaped magnet and teacher is taking the curved magnet towards the U shape. So, see the attraction? Yes, it attracts, isn't it? The poles of the magnets attract first. So, here you can see the poles of the magnets get attracted. So that is the power of the magnet. That is, it has the capability to attract the magnetic substances as well as it has the capability to attract between the magnets. Now there is one more property of magnet, that is, let get attract to and magnetic substances. The magnet will provide this magnetic force to the magnetic substances. See, now the artificial magnet got attracted with the coin, isn't it? Now this coin as such is getting a magnetic power. See, it has a capacity to attract the nail, other magnetic substances. See, you can see now, see, this magnetic power is shifted to the coin and the coin got the magnetic force, and this magnet, with this magnetic force, the coin is attracting the nail. Now see, the nail can attract the bolt now, see. Can you see? So this is the power of a magnet, that it can provide the magnetic force to other magnetic substances. So dear children, I hope you enjoyed the basic properties of magnets teacher demonstrated just now. Now we will learn the properties of the magnets given in your textbook. So in page number 124 onwards, the properties are given. So the first property of magnet which we are going to learn now is attractive property. The magnet has attractive property. Attractive property of magnet. So just now we saw the attractive property of a magnet, isn't it? What is the attractive property of what? What do we mean by an attractive property of a magnet? That is, a magnet is able, it has the attractive power to attract magnetic substance towards it, isn't it? A magnet has the power to attract the magnetic substance towards them, isn't it? So that property is what we call the attractive property of a magnet. There is an activity shown in your textbook, page number 133. Here, a magnetic rod is used. With this magnetic rod, the iron fillings, so we know iron is a magnetic substance, isn't it? So it shows magnetic property. Now one more property is there. The magnetic power is more towards the poles. So just now we saw there is north pole and south pole. In every magnet there is north pole and south pole, isn't it? So the property is, the attractive property is maximum at the poles. So teacher will demonstrate the experiment using the Digi videos. Kindly watch carefully and understand the attractive property of a magnet. So here you can see this activity is to show that the attractive power is maximum at the poles. So we have few iron nails as well as the magnet for the experiment. So here we are taking the magnet and keeping it near the iron nails, iron fillings. So here you can see both the ends, North Pole and South Pole, the attraction is maximum. The maximum iron fillings are at North Pole and South Pole. This is using a U-shaped magnet. In U-shaped magnet also, the North Pole and South Pole. In North Pole and South Pole, the attraction is maximum. So by this activity, we understood though the whole magnet is having the power to attract the magnetic substance, the poles of the magnet in the U-shaped magnet you have noticed, I hope you have noticed, that is, it is maximum, the attractive power is maximum at the North Pole and the South Pole. Though the other regions also have the capability, the maximum attraction is at the North Pole and South Pole. So that's all about the attractive property. The attractive property means the ability of a magnet to attract the magnetic substances. That is what we call the attractive property of magnet. Now we are going to learn the second property of magnet, that is directive property. Directive property. Directive property. Directive property. So you know what is the word meaning of directive? That means to lead, isn't it? So these magnets are also having a directive property. That is, if we take a bar magnet and suspend it on air with a thread, the magnet always shows north-south direction. That means the North Pole will always show the north region and the South Pole direct to the south region. So magnet always has a north-south direction. So that is what the directive property of magnet is. Now teacher will demonstrate the directive property of magnet using the Digi video. Kindly go through the activity. The activity is given in your page number 125. Activity 3. So kindly go through the activity and understand the directive property of magnet.
To show the directive property of a magnet. Things needed: a bar magnet, a thread string, a wooden stand. Method: take a bar magnet and suspend it from a string tied to its middle so that it can rotate freely. It is a freely suspended magnet because it is free to move in any direction. Observation: the freely suspended bar magnet points in the north and south directions when it comes to rest. Let us now turn the magnet by hand so that it points in another direction and then leave it. The magnet comes back to its earlier position and again points in the same north-south direction when it comes to rest. The end of the magnet that points towards north is called its north-seeking end, or the north pole of the magnet. The other end that points towards the south is called the south-seeking end, or the south pole of the magnet. Usually, the north N and south S poles are marked on the magnet.
So dear children, by this activity, I hope you understood about the directive property of magnet. That is, the north pole of the magnet always faces the north and the south pole always faces to the south. So it has a north-south direction. The magnet, whenever it is suspended on air, it gives a north-south direction. Now we are going to learn the third property of magnet, that is attraction and repulsion. Attraction and repulsion. Attraction and repulsion. Attraction and repulsion. So just now we have learned about the attractive property of a magnet, which it has towards the magnetic substances, isn't it? Now we are going to learn about attraction and repulsion property of magnet, which it shows towards themselves. That is, two magnets shows attraction and repulsion towards each other. So we are going to learn about that. For that, teacher is going to draw a diagram. Consider two magnets A and B. Consider two magnets A and B. So we know each the magnet will have a north pole and south pole, isn't it? So this region is the north pole of the A and this region is the south pole of the A magnet. Now this region is the north pole of the B magnet and this is the south pole of the B magnet. Now what happens when these two magnets are bring into closer? Yes, if the attraction need to be happen, the north and the south pole need to get attract. The north and south pole of two magnets attract each other. So here you can see an attraction. So here you can see the south pole of the A magnet and north pole of the B magnet attract each other. Now, what will happen if it is just reversed? If the south pole of the magnet, if the north pole of the A magnet and the north pole of the B magnet is kept together, what will happen? It will lead to the repulsion. That is what the attraction and repulsion of the magnet is. That is the like poles. Like poles means north and north will always repel, whereas the unlike poles like north and south is unlike poles, isn't it? Those poles attract. The like poles repels and the unlike poles attract. So teacher will use the digi board to demonstrate this experiment. So watch this experiment carefully and understand the concept of attraction and repulsion. So dear children, here you can see two bar magnets and a wooden stand is kept. Two bar magnets and a wooden stand. The one magnet is suspended in the wooden stand. Now it has two poles, that is north pole and south pole. When the north pole and north pole came together, what happens? It shows a repulsion. Can you see a repulsion here? It is repelling each other. See, there is a repulsion when north and north pole, that is like poles, are repelling each other. The like poles of a magnet are repelling each other. Now, here also you can see the south and the south poles came, when the two meet each other, what happens? It shows a repulsion. The south and south poles shows repulsion. Now see, the north pole and the south pole. See, the unlike poles. See what is happening? When the unlike poles are kept, it is showing an attraction. See, it is attracting each other. That is, the unlike poles shows a attraction. Here also the unlike poles, the north pole of the first bar magnet and the south pole of the second bar magnet is showing an attraction here. You can see here an attraction is formed. So dear children, what can we conclude from this experiment? Yes, the magnets themselves are having attraction and repulsion. When the like poles comes in closer, that is north and north comes in closer, or south and south comes in closer, it causes a repulsion. Whereas the unlike poles, that is north and south, when the unlike poles, the north pole and the south pole of the magnet, if it comes together, it causes attraction. So the magnet has the property to attract and repel each other. I hope this concept is clear now. Now let's move to the fourth concept of the magnet, fourth property of the magnet, that is the poles of the magnets always exist in pairs. Poles of magnets always exist in pairs, That means a magnet always will have a north pole and south pole. Though it is a big magnet, large magnet, or it is a small or fragment of magnet, it will have a north pole and south pole. Now, as an example, if this magnet is fragmented into many small pieces, then also this magnet will have north pole. The fragmented pieces of magnets will have, each piece will have a north pole and south pole. That is what the fourth property is. So dear children, I hope you understood about the fourth concept, that is the poles of the magnet always have pairs. They exist in pairs. These are the four properties of magnet. So in today's class we learned about what are magnets, what is magnetic force, and also what is magnetic substances. And also we learned the properties, the four properties of magnets. So dear children, it's time to conclude today's class. Next day we will learn about magnet compass and also the uses of magnets. See you in next class. Thank you.